I said that I was going to make a video, if I have to do one every single video until this content creator, who goes by the name of Syndicated Video Media, can actually see what he is doing, then I will. Now, I'm hoping and praying, outside of the fact you're just trying to grow your own channel, that there is no real underlining issue going on here. But like I said, I've had my runs with him in the past, and for what it looked like to me, it just seems that he have a hard time accepting women in a certain situation, unless of course they appeal to a certain group or something that he likes. Then he will give them accreditation for it. And I'm just saying, far as how he present himself when it comes to it, because more so he will give credit to another man than he will to another woman. And I'm only saying this because of what I saw on my own. Far as it just doesn't seem like he could take an advice for a woman, or like he said before, I don't know if y'all remember him saying this, before he started getting into the exposures, he stated that once he gets onto something, it's hard for him to stop doing what he's doing. And he goes like ham into whatever. It almost comes like an obsession with him when he's doing it. Now, I don't know whether or not it's that habit that he has, far as really not knowing how to pull back just a little bit, that got him going so hard, or is it what I've seen from him myself, far as wanting to discredit people for just stuff that they're trying to help you with, or is it simply because, or is it simply just a whole bunch of different stuff that's accumulated as to why you're going at it at the level that you're going at it at, when there's nothing going on. Now, if there was something that was going on right now, currently, if she was scamming somebody, I was like, hey, go for it, okay? But you have to give a person a chance to change. And when that person shows some type of change, you got to sit back and see what's going to happen. I myself even said I was guilty of uploading too fast before I gave it a chance to really see what it was about. Because maybe something, what I'm starting to see about her, like I said, something else is going on there. Maybe some of these videos that she put on that she quickly take back off is just her way of getting it out or dealing with it within herself. Like with me, when I want to deal with something that I'm not, that is bothering me, I put myself by myself, I self-reflect, and I deal with it on my own. Maybe because she's been in this world for over 10 years now, almost. This is the way she learned how to deal with it, because some people don't have the ability to separate reality from virtual. So this might be somewhat her reality now. Okay, I made a video explaining this. So you have to look at it from all perspectives. You have to look at things from all angles. So maybe that's what's happening. When she put out a video and she say something in that she's worried about who catching it or not, it's just, that's the way she's processing it and dealing with it, how she handles stuff on her own. I mean, sir, you literally said, you made a, when you first had started coming on this platform or whatever, it was a content creator that was going in on a woman about her weight, and you never wanted to be that content creator. Well, sir, newsflash, slap yourself back into reality. You are now that person. Your channel is literally about the same person. You have absolutely no content that is worth watching at this point other than her. Yeah. You try to put in some YouTube tips, but they're not really doing anything. One, they're not doing anything now because you're not focusing in on what's going on now with the system now. Two, is because a lot of YouTube tips, until somebody needs them, they don't really do good, sir. That is what it is on everybody platform. If you notice, whenever they're talking about YouTube tips, unless their platform is solely about YouTube tips, then they don't get as many views as other content does. Because typically what happens when you're giving YouTube information, because there's so much out there, if that person ain't really stuck on finding that information out about it, they're not watching it until they need it. And that's just what it is. You have to learn how to accept what's actually happening with the system. If the interest is not there for the people, they're not going to watch it. So therefore, maybe YouTube tips in this day and time is probably something that you shouldn't do, right? Just like if you got to get this obsessed about somebody bringing them down, maybe exposures are not for you. It gives you a lot of views, but it pull you to a side that I don't know you from a can of paint, but I do know you how you present yourself on here and what I'm seeing for myself. But if your argument is going to be that you never wanted to be that person that this guy was, well, you are that person, because you're literally hamming and not giving a person a chance for their past mistakes that they are making. Literally, you're going ham on scams that she ain't even first doing right here. Right now, there is no scam on this platform for her. That's why you're not seeing a lot of people talking about it right now, because there is nothing to talk about, really. I mean, if you want to just keep talking about her past over and over, but at some point you're going to sound really repetitive because there is nothing here. There is nothing actually happening far as scamming. Like I keep posing the question, show me the scam. I mean, on your last video where you were talking about DoorDash and she was saying how people thought she was going to fall off. You literally took a 12-minute video with a couple of seconds behind it and turned it into almost an hour-long video just focusing on this woman. And then you wasn't focusing in on the right things, because really there is nothing right. I mean, if you wanted to talk about something, just talk about the changes that you're now seeing versus just rehashing the past that everybody knows about. You know, the part that you yourself keep admitting you did not join in when it was happening. And here it's not that her name has completely failed off. Her name is still in the algorithm. It's just that the way the algorithm is set up, this is how it's going straight across the board. So, sir, if you don't hear nothing else come out of my mouth outside of this video, here it's happening straight across the board. It doesn't matter about your past. It doesn't matter about really what you know versus what you don't know. It's just a system. And once you learn that it is a system, then you can focus and concentrate on what the system is actually doing. If you have a problem from taking this information from me, I suggest you go to Think Media. Think Media actually did a session on this about the new algorithm changes, and he literally just did it recently. It probably about within the last 2, maybe 3 weeks. That's it. And he's actually talking about the changes that's no longer working in the past in today's algorithm, which he himself believes in niching down. Although I feel from what I've seen, it doesn't make any sense. However, he still believes in niching down. However, he talks about niching down in a different manner than in the past. Now, that's up to debate whether or not people want to believe it or not. But in the end, actually really quickly, you're going to see that it's just not working here, because the system actually works faster than what it does. Now, let's talk about, and I wrote some things that I want to make sure I did not miss anything that you were saying. Okay, first thing you tried to talk on with this woman was about maybe you got an obsession with that movie. I don't know. Maybe you're, some things she did relate to what the movie was saying, because I actually saw the movie long before you ever mentioned it. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So some things do kind of line up with what DoorDash did, but maybe you're trying to drive home a point so bad that you're going to force it as if it's happening right now, when really it's not. I get it when you first came in, because you came in so late, so you was trying to make a point as to this is why you're doing it, and you want to drive home to people, so let me try to give like bullet points to sell my point across to them. Yeah, okay, I get that. But here's the thing, like I said in my last video, you literally came in on the end when she finally made the decision to try something new. Accept it for what it is. Just like all businesses, if you do not get in ahead of time, when you get in towards the middle or the end, it's not going to be as great for you as it was for the others that actually did it. So just, I don't know, maybe it's something where you feel like you just have to do it because of, like you said, your own obsession about not knowing how to just simply let stuff go because you got to gear into it. And maybe this was your issue with the last content creator that was trying to run your name through the mud. I don't know, because I don't even know the situation, but just listening to your story about the situation and now experiencing this, watching you do this woman like this, and there's absolutely nothing going on, then one can only speculate this is probably what happened. And so they just gave you what you was asking for, and just made your life crazy on this platform. You also you said something about she's projecting. Sir, learn what projection is in narcissistic behavior. What projection is basically you're taking something that you yourself is doing and you're trying to throw it off as if it's somebody else when really it's just you. In fact, mirroring and projection kind of runs hand in hand, because that's kind of what a person is doing in that phase of narcissism. And when you said, look, that's what she was doing, she wasn't. All she was doing was admitting to her faults on what she did wrong. She did not try to throw it off as somebody else was doing it wrong. She was just admitting she did wrong. My God, can you not hear a person saying when they're wrong, they're wrong? Do you still have to dig into a person even though they say they're wrong? That's when I say, you damn if you do, you damn if you don't. If she's saying she's wrong, you're still going to find a reason why it's wrong for her saying she's wrong. Just listen. Some people don't listen with the intent to learn. They only listen with the intent to just say something, okay? Versus really just listening. I mean, I experienced it in my comment section with one of my viewers today. Well, I mean, it was a decent conversation, so it wasn't an argument or anything. He gave his point, and I'm trying to tell him I'm not necessarily disagreeing with anything that you're saying right now. I'm just saying, Shirley, that you're not really giving it a chance. That's all I'm saying. But, he went to talking about getting in depth about nutrition and all this other stuff about her weight loss plan. Well, she's not trying to sound like she's a nutritionist. She's just basically trying to tell you about her weight loss journey. Unless, of course, he said he purchased the weight plan. Unless, of course, it's somewhere in that book that's saying that she's a licensed nutritionist and she's telling you and this is absolutely positively going to work, then she's wrong. Okay, now you're lying. Okay, but if that's not what's happening, it's up to the buyer, whoever the buyer is. It's their opinion to make whatever assumption they want, whether it was a good weight loss plan or wasn't it. And it's up to her to say she want to charge $25 or come back and say she don't want to charge anything. And you can put in a price if you want to. And then it's again up to her to say, okay, I want to charge this amount. That is their business. Your whole center of your last video was solely about she entered this platform saying she was not going to charge for something and then changed her mind. Well, sir, as a business owner, I would say that was one of the smartest moves she probably could have made. Now, what she probably should have just told people why she changed her mind. And let me tell you, as a business owner, why that the first thing she said don't make absolutely any sense. Because anybody with any type of business sense knows that if you're dedicating a lot of your time into doing something, you better be compensated for doing so. And if not, then you're crazy. I mean, like, I'm not going to do absolutely anything as far as a business owner that is my business, that I'm doing it as a business for free for my time, because your time is the most precious thing that you have and you will never get that back. So if you want to charge somebody for your time, just simply say that's what you want to do. If you have a change of heart because you said you wasn't going to do it and now you want to do it, just simply say, well, I thought at the time, because I didn't understand how this whole thing worked, that I wasn't going to charge, but now I see it's a platform for marketing and sales and I'm going to charge. That's just simple business, okay? That just shows you she doesn't have the best business sense when it comes to doing a business. But what it does show me is that she's evolving and she's learning from her past mistakes, and she's learning as a business owner, you have to compensate yourself for your time, and you can't undercompensate yourself to your time, just like you shouldn't overcompensate yourself for your time. Like, you don't sell your stuff so low that you don't turn a profit, and you don't sell it so high that you're trying to rip people off. You find a good medium to bring the people to you, but that's just business, sir. So you need to get this out of your head. This is what make me believe you don't have a business. You don't have the business knowledge to really run a business, because you just really need to get this out of your head that because she said she wasn't going to charge and now she's charging, it's a huge problem and you're going to stay geared in, versus just being honest and saying what the truth of the matter is. The reason why you're doing this is because it literally helped your channel. Your channel was not getting absolutely any views outside of the sports commentary. You wanted to turn this into and really, I don't even think this was your sports commentary channel. I believe this was your DoorDash channel that you renamed to this. And then you tried to do some of the YouTube stuff, but it just wasn't picking up. And earlier in this video, I told you why it wasn't picking up, okay? And then you saw that you got a little bit of traction with the DoorDash, and then you just continued to go on. So much so that you're trying to paint the picture far as her, that you are getting more views than she is on her videos. And then you're talking about the last 3 or 4 videos that you did versus the last 3 or 4 videos that she did. And you are somehow getting more, or your percentage wise is more than her percentage wise. Well, here's the thing. That's because when she blew up in the old system. So her subscribers are locked in, right? In this particular channel that you created, you came on this channel roundabout just before I really started taking YouTube serious, where they were in the testing phase of your channel, of turning this new algorithm system on. So with this particular channel, you caught era where they were literally allowing small YouTube content creators channel to be shown on the front pages next to larger platforms that push them into the algorithm, is what is actually happening. When they were doing that for a testing phase for the new system that was getting ready to come, so that way they had a fighting chance to be able to stay on this platform. So that's why you and others, including myself, had an opportunity to grow. And then if you caught something such as a wave like I did, you were able to continue to propel. And then as I learned how the system was working, apply this stuff to my own channel so that I can continue to grow. And my channel does grow, sir, on a daily. Now, every now and then it might take a hit or a knock when somebody out here just throwing some stupid stuff out here that ain't even first true. But let me tell you, my community knows who I am and really know who I am, and it never really affected me. Maybe 1 subscriber, 2 subscribers. I think the most I ever lost at one time was probably about 6 subscribers, and then I got it all back. So stop trying to gear in on, oh, I got more views than what this particular content creator, even about her own stuff, because that's not true. You are getting more views because on the eyes of YouTube for that particular channel, you're considered a small, newer channel. And so therefore, because of the system change, that's why you're doing that. But so we're going to talk about views. Let's talk about views real quick and really explain to the people what is actually going on. So when you're looking at her last 3, because her subscribers are stuck from the old system and she's not being able to pull it because far as the system look at it, she is a larger growing platform. And so therefore it's not going to push her stuff out unless she can appease to a lot of her subscribers that she has. And regardless of what she did or she did not do, she would still have this problem because that's just the way the system changed effects. So the people who had the larger channels prior to the system change, if they wasn't willing to adapt to the new change, they were going to start struggling just like the smaller channels used to struggle. And then the smaller channels was going to benefit for the growth because if they continued on with the new system, but then they too would get stopped at a certain point if they didn't understand the system. So it's a win-win either way for YouTube. Okay. And I've spoken about that, so I'm not trying to really get so in depth when it comes to that, but let's now look at views to show people what's really going on, because I don't need no view stat to go look at nobody's stuff the way you do. I can just look at it based off of what I'm seeing happen, and I can tell you exactly what is happening because I understand how this new system works. Okay, so let's go. So I wrote this down so y'all want y'all to see what I'm talking about. So he said his last 3 videos was more than what DoorDash had based off of he was talking about her, and she is the actual person that's trying to do it. Now that I explained what is going on with DoorDash, let me tell you what's going on with him. Okay, so yes, his views do get a lot of views on his DoorDash material because most of his subscribers that are on this channel, they are from his DoorDash exposure videos, and this is something that they like. These are people that either like to see DoorDash get exposed, they want to see her getting taken down, they have an obsession somewhat about DoorDash, and so they're going to look at it, or they just want to stay ahead just in case a new scam come out. So quite naturally, if you don't have a lot of subscribers on that channel, you're within this new system, you're going to get a lot of views on that. Okay, now top it off, you have 5 other channels that you're constantly mentioning. So you have an extra force behind you that a lot of content creators, including myself, do not have. We don't have the force of those other 5 channels pushing us along the algorithm. And like I said in the last video, although you're not telling people to go there, you're not hesitating to tell them about the channel. So therefore, they know. And then sometimes you literally use your channel in the other channels of yours in your video to show examples so they can see the channel name. So I mean, let's be real. Okay, so if we're looking at now what I'm getting ready to show y'all right here is not the actual DoorDash itself videos that he's getting views on. I'm talking about anything other than DoorDash videos or something similar to what DoorDash did that he's now offering as far as channel reviews. He did a review on Leslie B, only got 373 views, and this is current, y'all. He did another review on another person, and I forgot to write her name. He got 375 views. On the meal plan that he was talking about DoorDash was scamming, he only got 689 views. On another channel review, he got 412 views. On another ranking review, he only got 599 views. On a channel review, he got 701. On a views on how much he actually got paid, and remember, money is a thing people want to actually listen to because they want to see how much money they can make. He only got 432 views. On a optimizing in YouTube, he only got 353 views. On a new YouTube monetization channel, he got 673 views. On a YouTube tip channel, he got 405 views. On a 4 hours of YouTube, and by the way, I've seen another bigger content creator do this exact same title. He only got 370, where they got thousands, if not maybe now even millions of views. Okay, so on best ways to invest, he got 402 views. He got 131 views on expanding your YouTube income. He only got 150 views on YouTube's on I think is easy mode. I don't know, I wrote it so bad I don't even know what it says. But my point is that he ain't really getting views outside of DoorDash. He's not. Okay, so he literally has to talk about this woman in order to get the views on his channel. And he wants to because he's a monetized channel as of now. So anybody that don't know, if you can get at least 1,000 views on one particular video in a month, then you're going to get paid the full RPM for the video. So if it's at least 1,000 and then you put up enough videos on there, it's going to all accumulate to a large RPM that will produce more money. But when you're looking at his channel of 1,300, and I think he's probably 350 something now, if you're looking at it like that, it's getting pushed so well because he's mentioning these other 5 channels, and he's well known on this platform. He himself told you he went to a game. That game wasn't on his platform, and people recognized who he was. So if they can recognize who he is off of the platform, they can surely recognize who he is on the platform. So y'all, this is what I'm saying. Y'all just letting stuff go completely over y'all head. Oh, and I forgot this one. This is one I really wanted to say. He got 148 views on I Lost My YouTube channel. One of the 5 channels that he keep claiming, but he made a title, I Lost My YouTube channel. Okay. And only got 148 views. And then he said he don't take it personally. He don't take it personal when they say it or whatever. Well, here's the thing. You shouldn't take it personal, because if you understand the system, right? If you understand the system, you'll know what is actually happening. There's no reason to take it personal. Just watch your percentages. I literally made a video about percentages to see whether or not you're doing well or not. Okay. So you can look at numbers and see a big subscriber count on their platform, but what is their percentage of views? And yes, he likes to talk about the returning versus the subscribers, but guess what? It's the returning. Well, returning versus the new, because it really doesn't say whether or not the returning is the subscribers or the returning is somebody who's unsubscribed. They're just somebody who simply came back to watch your video. Okay, so the return viewer versus the new viewer, basically saying that newer people outside of who already saw that video and any previous videos came back to watch your video, which is a good sign that your stuff is doing well. That is a good sign that it's doing well, but that's not a determining factor of absolutely nothing, because in order for you to be able to push that actual video out to get new viewers, you first have to get past your subscribers in this new system. So let's understand what is really going on here, okay? Versus just people just throwing stuff out, and because you're thinking, oh, because they got 5 channels up and running on the old platform that they know what they're talking about now. Absolutely not. That is not what happened. And that's not to say I know everything that's going on. No, I'm just giving you facts based off of the data that I have researched and I have collected and I have tried from various different ways by putting myself in the situation and by trying both things to see what worked and what didn't. And also now where you can go and look at other larger platforms, and you just don't want to trust what I'm saying because I don't have enough subscribers or I don't have enough views on my thing, will actually tell you the exact same thing that I am telling you right now, because it is known for the ones that are paying attention what's really going on, and for the ones that simply just don't know, then you'll be left behind and eventually you'll catch up. But by the time you do, the system will have changed again and you will stay further behind. Literally, you talk about this woman's habits, but you yourself currently have a habit of just trying to tear this woman down. Literally, even though you're saying that you're not, you have to start listening to this stuff attentively so you will know exactly what is going on. And one of the biggest things that you said on your last video that kind of got me was when you was talking about you have a problem with anybody trying to sell anything on this platform that don't have over a certain number of subscribers. Well, sir, that's your own personal feelings that you feel, because even the platform itself tells people and encourage people to build up email lists in order to be able to start your selling when you can sell. And even if you can't, if you have an off business, to advertise that. The platform does it themselves. So that's just your personal feeling as to how you feel far as it doesn't work. But once again, I'm going to point out a fact. That's just business. That's just business one-on-one, really, far as an email. It's called an email campaign is what it's called in business. It's called a digital email list on here because you're working with it online. Okay, so the fact that you say you have a problem with this, but yet you yourself are doing it, is once again crazy to me. Let me show you how you're doing it, sir. Because what you're doing with your channel reviews and what you're doing with your community comment section is you're asking everybody in the community on almost all your videos, drop a comment on the bottom, leave a comment in the comment section and either answer a question, or you put your email up there so that they can contact you, or you ask them about a certain situation that's going on, so that way you will know. You leave your email for them to tell you any information that you might not have. And by the way, y'all, most of the information he is currently getting now is because of what y'all are providing for him. And then he's just simply talking about what y'all gave him. He ain't really looking at this stuff or doing what he needs to do in order to make this work for him the correct way. And that's probably part of the reason why he's not paying attention to what is actually happening right in front of his face. And he's willing to just drag this woman to the ground. Not to say that she's going to walk the straight and narrow and she's going to do the right thing from here on out. I'm not saying that by the long shot, but you at least got to give her a chance. But back to the problem at hand. He's literally having y'all give him this information in his email. Okay, now we all done sent an email, so we all know how email work, right? Once you email me, I now have your email address. The same thing that the email campaign or the digital product email campaign promotes. Once we have each other's email, as the content creator, I can then keep your email, right? And I can use it for my purpose of building whatever it is that I'm trying to do. Don't be lying to folks. Just say it what it is, all right? But a lot of people put stuff on their forum saying that they won't use it or sell it to a third party. They might not going to sell it to a third party, but they're going to keep it for themselves for future business use. The same thing that you're doing on your email campaign, that other people are telling them how to effectively do it on this platform, right? So let's not be fooled. The same thing is happening. And then another way is happening. When you do his free reviews, when you click on that form for a free review and you put your information on there, one of them spots talk about what? Your email, right? So you're gathering a person's email or their channel name, which if they didn't give you your email on the form, then all you got to do is go up under the channel name. And if they got it to where you can see it, you might have to put a code in there. But guess what? You got at least an email that's connected to them. It might not be the main one, but you still got an email, okay? So this is a technical way he can gather your information, right, without really breaking any unethical rules when you're talking about obtaining somebody's email. Now, his biggest problem is because people solicit him through his email, right? But if you're going to ever do this correct way, sir, so are you. Because I'm sure with those one-on-ones, y'all have to have some type of email communication until you can take it onto another type of platform, such as a Zoom or a video or something like that. So stop being misleading to others as to what you're really doing and just simply tell the truth. And that way they can see, how stuff works. Whether or not you say you hate this, but yet you're doing this, or you don't like people to promote it, but yet you're doing it, you are a straight contradiction to everything that you're saying simply by saying what you are saying. I mean, does this woman take things to the extreme? Absolutely, positively, she does. She does things to the extreme. But that is probably just who she is. Give her an opportunity to make her rights wrong. And like I keep asking the question, and I will continue asking the question, what is the scam now? You say there are 5 scams. I will debunk that. The $25 shout out is not a scam if they're wanting to pay it. Everybody knows what's going on at this point. It's not a scam. It's almost same thing like the Cash App that people be putting their Cash App up. So take that scam down. You said the $19 scam for the editing course. For the YouTube course, and the $27 editing scam, which was a scam at some point, but is no longer being promoted. So let's go ahead and take those 2 down. Okay, so you're now talking about the shout outs, right? That she's charging everybody $200 for the channel reviews. She's not doing the channel reviews anymore, sir. You are. Okay, so let's take that down, right? So then we're talking about the one-on-ones. That's a scam. Well, guess what? If hers is a scam, then so is yours, right? Why is yours no more of a scam than hers is? You're both probably going to be charging something for your time, which is rightfully so. Let the person who is the purchaser determine whether or not that scam is a scam. And so what that leaves you, sir, absolutely nothing. If you're talking about the weight loss plan that she's talking about, whether it's free, whether it's $25, or hell, even if it's $500, and I'm not telling her to do that because I think that's a little bit to the extreme if you ain't licensed. But even if it is, it's still up to the opinion of the buyer. So whatever the buyer feels, if the buyer feels that her journey is sufficient enough for theirs, then okay. But long as she's not advertising like she went to school for this, she know all the ways to try to efficiently lose weight, and she can guarantee your results, now that's a scam. Okay, but if she's just simply talking about what she did on her journey, then it's not. And you got to let it go. Everything this woman does is not a scam. Like literally, you're going to have to let this go because you said something. She had the world in the palm of her hand, as far as YouTube. My question to you, sir, are you trying to pick up what she dropped because you feel you're more entitled to what she had versus what you got? So, and if that's the case, then you're just simply being blinded by greed. You only see greed. But guess what? This platform is big enough for everybody to achieve whatever goal they're going to achieve at the time they're supposed to achieve it. So there's no reason to be jealous, envious, or anything else. There's no reason to be blindsided by greed. There is no reason to try to tear somebody down when they're not doing anything. And hear me correctly, because a lot of people seem to think, oh, the one who was on exposure is on her side. It ain't no side. It's just the truth, or it's the lie, you know? So the truth is, she's trying to make somewhat of a change. You just have to give her the opportunity to do so. And then when she mess up, you know, me personally, I don't feel like, I mean, the stuff that she was talking about with God told her this, God told her that. Well, I see, even though she's mentioned God, she ain't saying God was the one who told her. She's saying I went to God and this is what I want to do, you know, like most people does. So, that ain't even an issue at this point. So what is the issue? I mean, I'm really throwing it out there. Like, what is the issue? What is really the scam? You said you're waiting for her to stop, but she has. So why are you continuing to dig into the woman that you are digging into her as? And I'm not, you know, I don't know if that came across the right way or make it sound right, but why are you trying to tear down this woman at the rate you're trying to tear her down at, and there's really nothing to tear her down on? That's the question I'm asking. Where's the scam? Maybe I'm blinded and I can't see the scam, okay? Because right now there is not one, okay? You're just trying to make up one, okay? So anytime you can take a 12-minute video and stretch it out to an hour,